Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of the theme of the show tonight. Like crypto's already started to pump. Will it continue to through the election here? And maybe even regardless of the result. I mean, we've talked about this for weeks. It's really just up to the time frame of BTC and how we are so accurately matching up to previous cycles at this point with the price action for Bitcoin and everything. So we'll get into that first. We do at the moment have Bitcoin. I mean, it's been teetering right at almost new all-time highs over the last couple of days. We're at 72.5K right now. It did touch 73, I believe, for a short period of time already. ETH is at 2660. It's still ratio-wise looking like crap, but it has risen up, of course, with BTC. It's tried to get out of that region a little bit, but, you know, we're continuing to play the waiting game with ETH. More importantly, I mean, we're both very confident that ETH is going to come around at some point. So I know we've really been beating that topic like a dead horse here over the last few weeks, but it's just going to take some time to shake out, I believe. But in terms of Bitcoin, and in other words, just this overall market here for the rest of the quarter, how bullish are you on this Ewok? Because the chart is looking fantastic right now. The moves it's making are looking very strong. I know some people on this show right now, and also people watching, are not huge fans of Bob Lucas. I'm not even necessarily either, but I do appreciate what he has to say in terms of the Bitcoin 4-year cycles. He also has Bitcoin 60-day cycles that he looks at. And he's been calling November 5th to likely be like the 60-day cycle low for a while now, which just happens to be the day of the election also. And then thinks that things are going to get really bullish basically after that. And we're going to see up only basically for the rest of the year. So he was increasingly really, really bullish on it. So, yeah, I just think that regardless of the results of the election, I mean, maybe for a short period of time, we have a sell the news event, especially if Trump would win. I could see us selling off regardless of the result, to be honest with you, because Kamala winning would, you know, maybe just trigger some sells anyway because of people not liking that. But then in terms of Trump, just maybe a sell the news event, as we already have been pumping going into it. So what do you think about that? And, you know, as far as the smaller time frame, but really just the rest of this quarter, because I think it's going to be really good looking for BTC and crypto as a whole.
Well, if you notice here at the chart today, we got our first cross. The 50-day moving average crossed over the 200. And if you look back, the last time that happened was back here in November of 23, before we started this nice little run up to the original first 73,000, whatever it was that we hit. So that's kind of what ticked that whole thing off. And today we just got our cross again. So very excited, looking very bullish, and it is not even close to turning. You know what I mean? So this is looking very strong and pointed in a very strong upward direction. Now, obviously, 3 or 4 days of red candles would turn that around, but you know, this usually doesn't cross over. You know, even here when things went on a little run, you know, you have a couple other little runs where it didn't cross, but today it actually did. So, you know, that's very exciting to see. You know, when you look at the Ethereum chart, and you pull up those ratios like we have been looking at, I do believe this candle here, this daily candle back on the 25th, was our low. And I'm hoping that that low sticks. I think that was the bottom for this ratio, and I do believe we continue to see this rise up now. So I'm making that call as the bottom. Hopefully it holds. But Ethereum is definitely looking strong. It's got some strength too. And now this hasn't crossed over as of yet. But we are seeing some strength. And usually when Bitcoin takes off, you know, the Ethereum chart is usually delayed by, I don't want to say a month, but in the past, when Bitcoin topped, usually the Ethereum top would follow that by about 28 days later. So, you know, things
great movie, by the way. Great zombie movie. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Things are delayed by, you know, a hair, but, you know, not too much. But if, you know, you can read into the cycles now is definitely, you know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive daily green candles, and they're all looking pretty strong. We've gone from 2386 here up to 2721 in just a few days. So all is looking well on this side of everything. You've got even the Dow isn't looking the greatest, which is okay because these are cooling off. I think these are cooling off in waiting for election things to kind of transpire. So that's what's surprising about this is maybe I think people are front running the election in hopes of getting a little bit of ahead of what is to come. We shall see. But yeah, everything's looking good. I do believe our ratio bottom is in on the ETH Bitcoin chart. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of positive things.
Valiant Low Key says Trump pump 80K by election day. That would be very interesting. I would love to see that. And I agree with you, Ewok. Yeah, that was the bottom on the ETH BTC ratio. I am with you on that because we're seeing such bullish action as you just outlined from BTC right now that ETH is obviously going to rise with it. Now, could it, potentially go a little slower and that affect the ratio? Yeah. But I think now that they're actually rising again, I mean, since that, horrible weekend in early August, that's when ETH basically got slaughtered against BTC, and things have just been ranging since then with ETH going down further. Now, if we have a very, very clear upward trajectory, I think that ETH is bound to close the gap. And we're not going to be out of the woods for a long time. I mean, like that ratio is 0.036 right now. It was really hovering around 0.048, 0.05 or something like that back in early August before that death candle. So
yeah,
we're about, even at that point, it's just like ho-hum. It's not like we're in super bullish timeframes yet. But I mean, yeah, I think that ETH is going to start to come up based on this move. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's looking strong. I'm hoping that was the bottom.